So in this video, we're going to talk about scribes and some different ways to use them. I personally think it's a vastly underused tool. It's one that I like a lot in my toolbox. I find it a very versatile tool. And maybe, talking about some of these things together, that maybe it'll spark some interest on your end, and maybe you'll see some benefits in your practice. So let's get into it right on the other side. Hey, I am Sam. Some folks call me Bo. I am the owner and blacksmith at Raven's Keep Forge. I'm a magical blacksmith. Wrote a book about metal magic and some of the things that you can do with it. One of the great things about metal magic, I think, is that it enables you to have an ally if you work with it correctly. At least that's in my experience. And today we're going to be talking about scribes. And these are scribes that I'll be using, that I've actually forged, so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea. And then we'll talk about some different ways to use them. So I'm going to switch views here, and we're going to kind of take a look at some and see what you think. All right, so this first one is going to be what I call the vine. It's just kind of a real gentle wraparound, been tempered. So get a little bit better view of this on the website. It's kind of, my light's not the best in here. But one of the things I like to do with it is do it in sand, right? So you can, make you some sort of protection or whatever that you want. And then what I also do is I'll put a candle on top of that. So kind of add and reinforce the working that I'm doing. I think it's great for just a meditative tool. You'll probably see a little bit of sand, a little bit of metal flakes in here, because I use metal dust in my workings quite a bit. And you can do all kinds of different designs and just draw spirals, or just, it's a great meditative tool that I have found that works really well with scribes. Another way that you can use them as well, this is a little different one here. And I call this one the spiral. It's a little bit longer than the others, but it does have a nice way that kind of fits into your palm real nice and easy. I think it's very comfortable. All the scribes have a little bit of a ground point on it, so they'll work really well. So you can use it on a piece of wood. This is ground down. It's cutoffs that I've got. This is cedar. So you can do some type of working this way. If you don't, I'm not an artist, okay, or do some work like this, and then you can take this piece and actually, like throw it in a fire or something like that. It's a great way to kind of burn, get some of the workings done that way as well. So that's a different way that you can use it. Another way that you can use it is obviously with a candle, right? I mean, who doesn't really like a little candle magic? These are my feather scribes. These are probably the most popular ones that I have out here. They wrap around really well. It's a nice temper. It's got kind of a purplish blue color to it. It's all hammered down, so it's got a really nice texture. Fits in your hand very well. And of course, with candle magic, who doesn't love candle magic? It's how I got my beloved 20-something years ago, was doing candle magic. So I'm obviously a really big fan of it. So it gives you an easy way to kind of work on your candles that way. Another way that you can do it, this is a new addition to my repertoire. This is a copper, solid copper. This is also a feathered scribe, which I just think is just absolutely gorgeous. See if you can get a good view of it there. You can see, I don't know if you can or not. It's kind of hard sometimes. But another way that I've started really kind of adding in is doing incense, right? If you follow me here lately, I've really kind of gotten into that art. This is ash, and you can do this is just kind of make yourself a bit of an incense trail, and then you put in some powdered incense and light it and just kind of have it go. So it's a great way to kind of, I think, work your magic that way. Another way that you can do it is these are great wands. I mean, it's a solid piece of metal. Doesn't matter which ones that you're using. Use one of each, right? So you've got steel in one hand, you know, and copper in the other. You can do your receiving and your sending, or however you want to do it. These are great meditative pieces. A knife, they're heavy, so there's a lot of size to them. So they're, I've been known to just kind of sit with them and pick up on what they're putting down, right? There's a lot to be learned, I think, by metal magic. I think that, like I had mentioned earlier, it's a great way to kind of get yourself an ally. But to do that, you got to kind of connect with the metal, and you got to realize that you already have that intimate connection with it. They're already a part of you. You already have iron in you. You already have copper in you. So it's just taking the time to build that relationship, which, you know, we all seem to kind of struggle with at times. But these are great way. You can, like I said, you can use them as a wand. Bottom line, I think, you know, with it is, you know, do the work, right? Even if it's just something simple like a nail, right? And you can use the nail to do a lot of this same work. You don't necessarily have to go get you something fancy like what I make. Obviously, this is how I feed my family, so I don't mind you, you know, help and support that as someone that's self-employed and does it full time. But the bottom line is just, you know, do the work, right? I think that's the most important thing. So I hope that you've learned something. You got some value out of this video. If you did, please, you know, give me a thumbs up. It really kind of helps with my visibility. Subscribe to the channel, because I hope to be having more information out every week of some sort, whether it's metal related or whether it's incense related or some type of magical practice. I've got some other things that I'm doing. I have found out that my work with the capital W is providing tools for others to do their work. So I really am heavily invested in trying to come up with some things to help you guys out. If you have any suggestions, please put them down below, or comments. Love all that kind of stuff. That's a great way to kind of show support, if at least giving me a thumbs up. Now, one more thing before you go. I'm also going to put a link to a blog post that I did some time ago with some very dear friends of mine. And make sure you go check that out. There'll be a link. A lot of the names you'll probably recognize. So yeah, you can get another idea on how to use Scribes. I kind of take my magical practice a lot as I do with my blacksmithing. You can ask 5 blacksmiths a question and you'll get about 27 different answers, I think, sometimes. But they're all going to be kind of right? It's all kind of work. And I think the challenge that we have with ourselves of doing the work, sometimes finding out what doesn't work for us so we can find out what does. And then once you do find out what works for you, just do a lot of that, right? So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.